Welcome to another episode of Social Therapy, The Unpacker. I am your host, Ladi London. I'm here with my dad. Dad, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Timothy Sellers, actor, singer, comedian, songwriter, musician, producer. Did I say actor? Did I say comedian?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I am a ordained minister. And I like to say that I just joined the ranks of DJ. So you can catch me at 106.9, The Pulse, Chicago.
Brittney Griner, she was released on December 8th, 2022, which was yesterday. And so we're going to pretty much give our opinion about it. We want to know, what do you guys think? Right away in the comments, let us know. We're here to talk about whether or not it was a fair decision to swap her out for the Russian killer. So, anywho, give us your thoughts. We're going to have a poll going. We want to know what the world thinks. What do you think? We need to bring you into the conversation. This is very much an inclusive environment, inclusive space.
First of all, I want to make sure that we're not racially profiling anyone. Who's to say because he's Russian that he's a killer?
I mean, what does that have to do with his race?
Russian, you put Russian killer, together as if, they're from Russia, they're killers. No, you didn't.
Well, I'm just saying he's Russian.
Really, I'm just teasing with you. I was just a remember comedian. I'm just bored.
So Brittney Griner, she is 32 years old. She has a net worth of $3 million, and she's an Olympian WNBA superstar for the Phoenix Mercury. And she also plays basketball in Russia, which is the reason why she was over there in the first place. And so, like many other players, she plays in the off season. And so on her way back, she ended up running into trouble with the officials at the airports, apparently. And so for all this time, her wife, Sherelle Griner, has been trying to advocate for her release and get her home. Sherelle is a blogger. I don't know this woman that well, as y'all can tell. Like a lot of us, apparently. She's been engaged and married to her since 2018. So she spent 10 months over in Russia, unfortunately, in a prison camp, unfortunately. So the problem is, there are other folks over there still that they're advocating to get back. People like Paul Wayman, I'm sorry if I pronounced folks' name wrong. I don't know none of these people. So, Paul Wayland, he was over here. He's a U.S. Marine, former U.S. Marine, and he got arrested at his hotel in Moscow and was accused of spying, being a spy for America in Russia, and he had a closed trial. And so they sentenced him closed trial, and he's still pleading how innocent he is, and still he's very much displeased right now because he is still sitting in a Russian prison camp and he can't figure out why and why he hasn't been released. But Brittney Griner has gotten her release in exchange for Victor Kout, which is the Russian killer. Victor Bout, not Victor Kout. So we are here to talk about why that happened, what our thoughts are, give our opinions, and we also want to shed light on even Trevor Reed in his situation, in his exchange for a Russian smuggler. So all these things tie back to one thing, and you know what that one thing is. Wow. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Take it away, Dad.
Interesting enough, on her way back to America was when she ran into trouble. The punishment didn't fit the crime, in our opinions. Over here in America, we definitely feel like that she was railroaded and mishandled 100%. There are a lot of theories as to why this happened to her. Perhaps it was to initiate the release of one of their so-called important prisoners over here in America being detained. Perhaps. It could have been, as some say, because we had our hands too far into the Ukraine situation that's going on over there. Amazing enough, we live in a society and a world that is dominated by politics. And because we are a democracy, we have to understand and believe in the political system. So we hope that we get the right people in office to do the jobs that they're voted in, hired to do. And sometimes it seems like it's unfair that certain individuals are forced upon us. And you almost have to like skin and grin it, because it's the way of life here in America. And there are so many things that are politically charged that it almost makes you sick to your stomach.
I definitely get what you're saying, like, and so that's why it definitely poses the question: was it the right decision for America to swap Brittney Griner out for Victor Kout, knowing that what his history is, which is he's a military man, and that he was in prison for creating acts or putting together, orchestrating in some kind of ways of killing Americans, and he also helped smuggle weapons through his many businesses, his many aircraft businesses. I'm assuming that he had some type of airports or something. They've been, having him in custody for quite some time for this suspicion, and it's all allegations. This is all according to CNN. So it's watching this story unfold. It's like, wow, I do, value Brittney Griner as a woman, as a black woman, as a member of the LGBTQI community. But I'm just like thinking about too the current situation, the state that we're in, especially being the opposer to a war that Russia is starting, and for them to want to get these particular men back into their custody, it just does raise an eyebrow or two.
Yeah, I agree. It does. It does. It carries a lot of weight. I consider whether or not this guy is really that important. What if he really isn't that important and they just want to, once again, stick it to us?
So you think it's all just some type of ploy to fuck with America?
As a creative thinker, all of that's possible.
Yeah.
There may.
I understand that idea of it, and I don't think that any idea can be just disregarded.
I appreciate you saying it that way. And one thing about issues with Russia, America's been having issues with Russia for long before we even came on the scene. They already were having issues with them guys, so it ain't like they're a new problem. They've been around, and then just in the last let's say 15 to 20 years, we've been dealing with situations with them messing with our political system over here, and so that's a problem.
Since the pandemic started, a lot of things have been very weird with Russia, and the connection with America and Russia.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, on one hand, it's like, oh, is this our brother sister country, or is this our frenemy? You know,
with Russia, fidgeting, meddling in our political system, as well as our technologies. You know, with the different hacks that have been going on for years, and we're finally figuring out that, you know, these things are Russian
related.
Yeah, related. So it's rough and tough to try to wrap your mind around all of the different things that they've had their hands in when it comes to America and even America's policies. You know, interesting enough, we thought that if we sanctioned them on this, that, and the other, that this war in Ukraine would have ended, or would have been scaled back, or that Russia wouldn't have done what they are doing.
Mm-hmm.
As if they care.
Mm-hmm.
Their goal is to take over Ukraine. They're not interested in whether or not we buy oil from them or anything from them. They have an objective, and that is to secure land within their land.
And right, and just knowing the fact that America is trying to get in the way of their objective, doesn't that make us wonder if we're next? Like, we're there, you know what I'm saying? Are they going to start aiming their, anger, frustration towards us because we're meddling in their affairs? That part makes you more and more, leery about this whole swap out thing. Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're trying to put someone out of your house and somebody comes in and says, no, they're going to stay in your house. And you saying, no, I want them out of my house. And they're saying, no, we're going to keep them in your house.
Mm-hmm.
That would make you angry.
It's also like negotiating with terrorism, In
a way, that is, you know what, that is interesting that you said that, and that is very interesting that you said that, because
we usually have no policy on that.
Yeah, that absolutely was an act of terror to detain that woman like that and do her like that.
Mm-hmm.
They want to make us feel something, in which I guess that's part of their goal, to make us feel something, because for whoever is feeling bad or mad that we did this, those are the ones I have an issue with. Why would you? Why would you be upset?
Well, I can see
that one of our American citizens was traded for one of their crooks. Imagine if it was your daughter or your sister. You mean to tell me if it was your own, that you would not have traded her for somebody that we care less about? I mean, whoever this Victor guy is, we don't care that much about him like that. Why would we? And the question is, do they really even care that much about him? That was the other part. One of our stars was traded for one of their lowlifes. Why would you be upset? Do we want that element in our country?
I mean, That's the point, you know, and I get that perspective 100%. But, you know, just to play devil's advocate, you know, I really do understand, you know, how the glass can be half empty in this situation because of the fact that, you know, if this man was able to, you know, get away with smuggling these weapons for all these years, I'm sure he could smuggle himself back into America or in some type of way retaliate possibly. And who knows, but all I know is, you know, I think her life is way more valuable than his. Her life is more valuable to me, you know.
Yeah, well, it's more valuable, should be to all Americans. So, but what just came to mind as you were talking is about the smuggling of the weapons. Okay, was he smuggling them internationally? Was he smuggling them in America?
Well,
was he smuggling them to people who are fighting against America? What was this smuggling that he was doing?
Well, I'm guessing that it has something to do with actions being taken against America because, you know, during the early 2000s and stuff, like a lot of terrorist stuff did happen. Bao was accused of intending to sell arms to a USDA informer pretending to represent the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia for use against U.S. forces in Colombia, but denied the charges and predicted an acquittal. Victor Bout, not Victor Count. I've been calling him Victor Count this whole time. I think Victor Bout.
The Revolutionary of Colombia.
Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia.
Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia.
Yeah, that sounds like the army.
I mean, is Colombia in America?
No.
Okay, what do we know about Colombia?
I don't know.
Drugs.
Right.
DEA. Drug enforcement.
Okay.
You know, you talking about some... Woo, boy, you talking about some conspiracy. If that don't sound like some conspiracy, they might have said, man, America got dude on some trucked up charges. He might have been...
It's almost a part of a power struggle too. It's like almost to show who's the biggest bully on the yard. You know what I mean? Like,
sure, and they're well known for being bullies. You know,
America too, though.
But yeah. Well, see, it's unfortunate that I guess Russians don't feel like Russia is being a bully. Like America doesn't feel like Americans don't feel like America is being a bully. But when you really peel the onion back, it's gonna bring tears to your eyes every time. Because the truth sometimes, well, it hurts.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Like, do you think that this was the right decision to make? To, of course, we wanted the release of Brittney Griner, but under these circumstances, was this the right decision to hand over Victor Count to Victor Bout, not Victor Count? I've been calling these Russian folks who are who playing terrorist games, you know, and they're playing with the lives of their people and the lives of our people over here in America. And, you know, for once, it's not necessarily about the color of your skin, but it's about really your country and where you're from. And people are targeting us in other areas of the world based on how they feel because of their government and things like that, or the government is targeting us based on how they feel about our government. It's a bunch of back and forth.
You know, when we were talking earlier, and I kind of got passionate about the fact that people would have the nerve to think that she's not worth this so-called trade. Like, like, why would they go to so much trouble for her to trade somebody that's supposed to be this really bad guy? And the reason I got passionate about it is because whoever feels like she wasn't worth it or they shouldn't have did that, imagine if it was your daughter. Okay.
But yeah, actually it does get very deep, you know, and we could go further into it, you know, as to why, you know, there's a situation that happened in Colombia that resulted in this man being in prison all these many years ago. But
right, with the fake buy of the American pretending to be
there was some deception.
Revolutionary armed forces of Colombia.
Yeah.
And when you think revolutionary, that's already going to be a problem with the higher powers, with those who are in those rulers in high places automatically, because they don't want revolution. They want things to go
right. So that's probably why they use that name to draw him in. Like, oh, he'll believe this. Call it revolutionary.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, at the same time,
it's all marketing and branding.
If there were, dang, it's all marketing and branding. But if you think about it, so if there were revolutionary armed forces, that means that they were trying to go up against the Colombian government. They wanted to change whoever these armed forces were.
Well, it said
but they were pretending. Oh, go ahead.
Well, it said that they were being bought with the intent to go up against U.S. military there. And you know, I think it's very challenging to go off into a lot of details about it because we don't know that much information about it. Okay. But from what we can read online and, you know, what we gather here is that really they have grounds to say these are trumped up charges. They have grounds to question these charges.
Exactly.
And especially for the extended amount of time this person was there, because I'm sure this person has a family and this person has people that wanted him to come home too. But at the same time, he was involved in a lot of business that we cannot deny. And a lot of it was related to terrorism. And
but that's what they tell us.
I mean,
what if we find out that wasn't true? They had the wrong guy.
That's the point. And you never know.
You never know. It was his cousin.
It was actually his Russian cousin.
It was his cousin. They look so much alike.
Okay, they talk alike. Like, it's very easy.
They drive the same car.
You know, it happens all the time with American officers and authority figures.
Hey, they wear the same size pants. Who knew?
Okay. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Please do share your comments. Please do like, and please do subscribe to the channel, Social Therapy Network, and also reach out to us with any questions about what our thoughts is about this subject. We are open to more further conversation about this, you know, in the comment section, the inboxes. And please do share this with your friends. And thank you again for joining us. Dad, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for allowing me.
You're my very first, well, you're my very first in-person guest.
Let me tell you something.
Yes. So
I'm so excited and happy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm really excited too.
So I just look forward to bigger and better things, more conversation, and, you know, more dialogue about these issues, because we get together and it's just like we get the grind in.
This is so true. All right, you guys. See you later.
All right. Bye-bye.